Garten of Banban certainly is a game series, and it is simultaneously the easiest thing to survive I've ever covered and the hardest thing to survive, depending on how you look at it. Let's start with why you might die immediately in Garten of Banban. To know why you'll die, you kinda need to know the lore as well. Basically, there's this kindergarten called Banban's Kindergarten. They have a bunch of made-up mascots. Pretty normal if you ask me. A kid's place having mascots, not that crazy. What is crazy is that they wanted to make sure their mascots would come to life. In the most corporate CEO-brained move I've ever heard of, a kindergarten decided the best way to improve their sales would be to make homunculi, to build an entire Aperture Science-esque facility underneath the kindergarten that goes down for miles and miles. It is full of so many pointless rooms, all so they can experiment on clay and a new element named Juvanium to create life. This life would then be used as mascots during the kindergarten. A lot of places try to make their mascots come to life, whether that be in real life or in mascot horror things, but oftentimes it isn't literally creating new life in homunculuses. Usually it's something like an animatronic, or the tried and true guy in a suit. Guy in a suit works pretty well. Amusement parks have been doing it for decades. Mickey Mouse isn't the real Mickey Mouse, it's some guy in the Mickey Mouse costume, so on and so forth. They also could have done animatronics, and not the Five Nights at Freddy's free-moving murder animatronics, but something like what Chuck E. Cheese's used to do, where it's a robot that stands there. It does some pre-programmed movements, and then that's it. It's done. That's not all that dangerous as long as no kids climb inside of one or on top of one. But you know what is dangerous? Creating new life forms, and then just putting them unsupervised with children. They made a bunch. They made Banban. They made the other one. They made Jumbo Josh, Stinger Flynn, Banbalina, Nab Nab, Slow Celine, Sheriff Toadster, and so many other random things. And only two, the purple one and Stinger Flynn, were able to be with kids. All the other ones had murderous tendencies. Because as it turns out, giving random bits of clay life doesn't always turn out well. Surprisingly though, the clay homunculi were the least dangerous part of the day everything went wrong. They had a thing called Bring a Friend Day, which was the day when they debuted all of the weird homunculi. It was incredibly popular. People from all over signed up to have their kids go to Bring a Friend Day. So many people signed up that they were worried that things would go over the max capacity, which it did. Too many kids were in the ball pit. The ball pit collapsed into the bottomless pit of the facility, and the loud noise made all the homunculi revert to their animal instincts and start killing the kids. There are so many things wrong with this. Besides bringing a bunch of kids and putting them with untested homunculi, why is the ball pit situated above a bottomless chasm? Who designed this place? Why is the chasm there? Is the chasm load-bearing? Is the ball pit load-bearing? Why would they be there together? They had so many kids, they knew that the ball pit would probably collapse, and yet they just kept letting the kids play in it. And then it did collapse, and who knows how many kids died when a ball pit fell, who knows how far into a bottomless abyss. And then the excitement of all that makes all of the creatures go murder mode, except Stinger Flynn. Stinger Flynn's pretty cool. But also pretty bad, because I think he protects the kids so he can kidnap them himself and then experiment on them so he can turn back into a jellyfish. It's a whole thing. But whatever the reasoning, who runs a kindergarten like that? Who runs a business like that? That's so much liability. I understand that corporations are dumb and CEO brain makes people do really dumb things, but I just cannot think of the justification for creating homunculi. Why would you need to do that? That seems so expensive. You have to haul in an experimental element that very few people know about, and then combine that with genomes to create life, and then experiment with that, and then spend so much money on having a facility. Banban's Kindergarten is just Aperture Science, but I think they're less competent because Aperture Science at least had some level of safety going on. A lot of the things in the Aperture Science facility have railings, which is such a low bar, but none of the walkways in Banban seem to have railings. or Aperture has enclosed elevators. Banban's facility does not. They're all the same rickety elevator that's falling apart. They have one elevator model. If I were running this thing, I would just have people in costumes. It's infinitely cheaper and safer. And you're dealing with kindergartners. They don't need to know the creatures are real. A lot of them will think so anyways. They're kindergartners. You also don't need the creatures to also be teachers. Who wants the mascot to be the teacher in a classroom? It should be an actual teacher who's trained and knows what they're doing. You know, someone that has a college degree. No one wants the white blob monster that bleeds from its eyes and kills you when you get a question wrong to be their kid's teacher. That's absolutely insane. Every step of the way, I get more and more confused on what the Garten of Banban's goal was. They have a bottomless facility. They have a massive underground facility that's so large that one of the homunculi has gone rogue and in the 8th game made an entire civilization and city underground. I don't care what your company does. I don't care what you do for a living. No company should need a facility so large that their own creations can play God. At a certain point, it's gotta just be cheaper to rent a warehouse somewhere. Okay, that's all the ranting about Banban itself over. But how do you survive Garten of Banban? How do you thrive? Well, for one, and this is gonna be a shocker, don't send your kids to homunculus kindergarten. When you're online searching up good kindergartens to send my own children to, I don't care how good the ratings are. I don't care if they say the creatures they make are safe. Don't send your kid there. Just find a normal school or a normal daycare or a normal anything. Send your kids to a place with actual human teachers that has things like windows and a playground, not an indoor facility underground. If as a parent you saw the Garten of Banban kindergarten and you thought this is the best place to send my kids, I hate to break it to ya, but this might just be a natural selection moment. The second I hear homunculi are on the table, my kids are not going there. But let's say, for the sake of argument, that for some reason, you did send your kids to homunculi school, and now them and all the other children who went there have gone missing. Don't go in yourself with no tools. Hundreds, if not thousands of kids going missing at once at a weird homunculus kindergarten is a national embarrassment tier disaster. This is the type of thing that the government will throw all the money it has at it because they messed up big time letting this place even exist. And so now you have probably all of the alphabet agencies being thrown at it all at once because they're hoping someone will know where the kids are and how to rescue them. Then again, governments tend to be incompetent, so I doubt they'll find anything. But that's besides the point. Don't go in without anything. I feel like this is a common theme. If someone you know goes missing, and they go missing somewhere that's even vaguely horror related, whether it be survival horror, mascot horror, psychological horror, you name it, bring something. Anything with you. Bring a weapon, bring a survival kit, bring food and water. Just bring something. Don't go in empty-handed and then have to rely on the weird drone you've been taking around. Once you have to scavenge a drone and use it to press the comically large buttons that are strewn across the facility, you've already lost, really. If you're an American, bring a gun. If you're not from a country that allows too many people to have guns, bring a knife, or a plank, or a baseball bat, or a taser. Just bring something. Anything is better against flesh homunculi than just your fists. Look at the part where you fight Ophelia Bird. You're being chased on a narrow walkway. I don't know how these creatures work. Maybe they're immune to being attacked by a lot of things. But you know what I bet you can do? Hit it with a baseball bat and knock it over the edge, into the bottomless pit. It's unclear how much the outside world knows about the garden or the missing children. It seems like that whole plotline was just forgotten by the developers. But presumably, people would know that they were weird flesh homunculi because they were advertised. And so you would go in knowing you might have to face a monster, especially if people knew the monsters are why the children went missing. It was a big public event with thousands of people. How could so many kids go missing and no one be investigating? Why is it only one unarmed random person who showed up? Bring a weapon, bring a survival kit, probably call the police unless the police aren't investigating for some reason, or just bring a posse, a good old-fashioned posse. 100% once I fought in the first homunculus, if I didn't already know they existed. I'm leaving and reevaluating. I still want to rescue my kid, but I need to figure out what I'm gonna do and probably bring a weapon for the next one I fight. Of course, none of this matters anyways. The homunculi are made with a fictional element named Juvanium, and Juvanium has an infinity logo next to it. The implication is that it's the infinitieth element on the periodic table, which is insane. That means it has infinite mass. It should be larger than the observable universe. In fact, there shouldn't be an observable universe, because every bit of Juvanium should immediately turn into a black hole and eat everyone nearby. The homunculi are powered by black hole magic or something. I don't know. Juvanium makes no sense. Everyone should be dead. Is this proof of black hole cosmology? It shouldn't be. That doesn't make sense. This series makes no sense. I initially had meant to do like a April 1st video where I play it really safe on how to survive it. But the more I went into Garten of Banban, the more I realized there's no way to play this straight. It's just insane and dumb. There's no... How do you survive Garten of Banban? I don't know, man. The world building is so incomprehensible that I can't even keep things I normally would think would apply. Thousands of kids are missing, but I don't know if anyone's gonna go looking for them. I don't even know if the outside world still exists. You might just be in the center of a black hole, running around in an infinite darkness as a Juvanium absorbs all of the rest of the universe at the speed of light. I don't know anymore, man. On another note, I have a Patreon now. I have nothing else to say. I don't have an ending. See you around.